is as much for me as it is for you. I moved into this role about 10 weeks ago, and I'm the new project manager for East Tennessee. So I know some of you have been working with Stephen Buttrey in the past, and Steve moved on to a different opportunity. So I've been rapidly trying to catch up and figure out where things are at in 32 counties in East Tennessee. Cocke County had gotten pretty far along in the benchmarking process and things of that nature. So I've kind of looked at all the information that we have on that, but somewhere along the way, it kind of came to attention that maybe the Perrysville community hadn't really been as engaged in this process as you'd like to be, as we'd like for you to be. So after talking with the folks at the chamber and the mayor's offices and whatnot, we decided, well, let's just step back and let's kind of review where we are, where we've been, and where we need to go forward. So, you know, this being evening, I know everybody's got things to do, but I'm going to take a little bit more liberty than I normally would if we were doing this in the course of a business day. So I want to move through and kind of help us all come together on where we've been and then figure out where we need to go. First thing I want to do is touch on who Connected Tennessee is. A few years ago, the governor appointed a statewide technology task force and a statewide broadband task force to look at broadband or high-speed internet availabilities statewide. And part of that discussion led to the creation of our organization. We're a nonprofit organization. We work with a lot of different folks across Tennessee, and basically our job is to make the cost of technology go down and the ease and availability of using technology go up. Of course, a big part of that is the statewide broadband task force and the broadband initiative to try and get high-speed internet access out to folks in the rural communities as quickly as we can. Who are some of the folks that are involved? Well, these are some of our partners, not all of our partners. But you see we've got everything from you know, universities to providers, the counties and cities and research institutions and the state. A lot of different folks are involved from all across the spectrum of the community because this is essential to our future and the jobs and the type of education and health care we're going to have here. And the faster that we move forward on this, the better we're all going to be. So a lot of folks are involved. So what is broadband? We're here to talk about broadband. I always try to make sure that we clarify the definitions and know what we're talking about first. In short, these are some things that you might have heard referred to, but broadband is basically a high-speed internet connection. For your information, the Federal Communications Commission's definition of that is 768 kilobytes per second, 768K. Now, most of us who, and I'm not going to get real technical, that's because I start getting in over my own head. But most of us are familiar with high-speed connections at either a DSL or a cable modem speed. DSL usually runs, you know, 1.2, 1.5 megs, somewhere in there. Cable modems, a lot of times you'll see, you know, 3 meg or even 6 meg connections on average. So 768K is quite a bit slower than that. The FCC is kind of gradually moving that definition up rather than just jumping in the pool all at once. They're kind of doing the gradual phase in. But basically, it's an internet connection that hits most of these platforms. DSL, cable modem, BPL, anybody know what that is?
Yes. It's broadband over power.
It is. And for a little bit, we thought that was going to be our answer for the rural communities. You know, everybody's got electricity. If we can just run internet over electricity lines, we're going to be fine. And that might work all right in short distances, but once that runs through the transformer, it kind of tends to confuse things. So there was high hopes for that, and then it quickly faded. Fixed wireless. So this is going to be a standing tower somewhere that covers an area. Fiber to the home, that's going to be your fastest connection, and you actually remarkably see some communities that are doing this as they're going to what they're calling smart grid technology on their electric systems. They're putting in the fiber optic networks, and some utility services and systems are doing fiber optic connections to the home. Those run at very high speeds. And then satellite, which is probably what a good chunk of Cocke County is the only thing that they have available to them right now. And we kind of frown on that because it's just not affordable for most average